Hey, this is Rich over at TVP Live with yet one more quick tips tutorial brought to you by Adobe Photoshop Elements Independent Tutorials Group. And let's jump right in. This poster has got this really awesome looking El Camino here, an SS, and this is a really pretty car. And they want to cut it out and put it on its own layer. So before I cut it out, I want you to notice the shadows down below here. It's really dark down below this tire here. It softens up as it gets closer to the front tire, then it's dark again here. So the light is coming in from the right side, and you can see where the shadows are. So try to remember those later on when we make our own shadows. Now, another poster had used the Magic Wand tool. The Magic Wand tool is really good for hard line shapes. I'm going to go back to my tutorials. Like, for instance, if I want to grab this blue, I can grab this blue and delete it. See how easy that was and how solid that is? The problem is that when you have JPEG photographs that are low resolution or small pictures, when you zoom in, these top edges, just portion. See, when I try to grab single portions, it's kind of fuzzy and doesn't know what to grab. And I can adjust the tolerance, but it's just not a good tool for the job. So in this case, as I prefaced my original answer to this post was that I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. The old-fashioned way is literally cut and paste, draw to cut with an eraser. So I'm going to grab the eraser, and I'm going to grab a small tool, 5-point, really tiny. And I'm not grabbing a sharp tool eraser. I'm grabbing the brush that is a soft brush. You know why? Because look at this JPEG picture. If I do a hard brush, I'm going to show you an example. If I do a hard brush and try to brush across, the line is just too harsh and doesn't mimic the actual car very well. It's just way too harsh. So I'm going to undo that. And I'm going to grab myself a soft brush here and then, I don't know, choose, let's say, about a 5-point. And now I can better, I'll zoom in a little bit, decide what part I want. And I'm basically just going to draw the car out. And you can cut into the car a little bit, because what the audience doesn't know won't hurt them. And now that I'm finished drawing out with the eraser, I'm going to add a black layer just to show you as an example, or any color layer actually, what I have to cut out. And now it's just simply a matter of fact of cutting out in between these lines. And I'm not saying cutting out as in using a cutout tool. I'm using the polygon lasso tool. And double click at the end. I'm going to zoom out. And that's pretty much it. We pretty much got it all done. We're going to right click in the middle and hit select inverse, which selects everything but what I outlined, and hit the delete button, and voila, everything has been deleted around the image that I encircled. So I'm going to hit the Control D to get rid of my outline, and let's go ahead and change this background from red. Choose white, get the paint bucket, click it in there, and that makes the background white. For intensive purposes for this particular video, I'm going to make this smaller. Normally I would make the image bigger, the background image bigger, so as not to lose any resolution. Now, do you remember what we talked about in the very beginning, which was, and we can zoom in and see how nice these edges are. See that? Nice and soft. So when we talked about in the beginning about the drop shadow, so let's make another let's make yet another layer in the middle between the background and the foreground. Foreground being the picture, background being the white. And within this layer in the middle, we're going to grab a black brush, and let's make this a soft brush. So we're going to scroll down to the soft brushes, and let's choose a nice big one, 500 point or so. See, that's a little too big. Let's try a 100. I'm going to do dual layers here to make this more realistic. This is the smaller layer, signifying the more solid black within the picture. And I'm just doing the parts that are supposed to be really solid black. Okay, and then I'm going to do the next layer. Actually, what I might do is now soften this layer. So I can bring it down by changing the opacity. I can bring it back up to where I like it. That's up all the way. Let's bring it down just a tad. That's at 76%. I like that. Actually, let's go to 78%. Now we're going to make one more layer above that one, and this is going to be the softer drop shadow. And change this to 100 point. Make it nice and big. Let's maybe do 150 point. And this is going to be the overall drop shadow underneath the car. Okay. I can erase some of that, but now I can take the opacity and really play around with this. Exactly where I want it. And right here, 42%. I like that. That looks pretty natural. Let's go 50 and see how that looks. That might be too much. Let's go back to 40%. And if I made a little bit of a mistake, like right here, it's sticking out a little too far, I'm just going to go grab the smudge brush, and let's make that, I don't know, 200 point. And follow this. So here it sticks out a little, and then it goes in, then it comes back out a little, then it goes in, and it goes in like that. But because the light's coming this way, I wanted to bring it in closer here and bring it out, exaggerate it out over here a little bit to give it that kind of a really good drop shadow feel. And this we can bring out just a tad. And that's pretty much it. Now we got us a nice automobile with drop shadow, and then the harsher drop shadow, which signifies that it's darker there. And it's on this background, and that's all there is to it for this tutorial. This is Rich calling it quits for now, saying over and out.